Good morning. Welcome to Morning Java, brought to you as always by our friends at the Get Go Cafe and Market, where right now you can get 2 croissant breakfast sandwiches for the price of $6.
Or the breakfast combo, where you get a sandwich, hash brown, small coffee for $3.99. Yes.
Let's talk a little bit of baseball here. Let's talk about real baseball, Lance. You are the guy who's everywhere with the team when they make all these little moves, and you have to go run to your phone or to your laptop or whatever it is, and it's like, uh-oh, Michael Feliz is down. Oh, and this guy is up, and he had a 7-something ERA. Do you ever wonder, like, why am I doing this? None of these guys is making a difference.
That is a good point, and that's the thing that a lot of people want to, that it's easy to focus on it, because you get Buddy Boshers or whoever it is, because...
Who in heck is... what is a Buddy Bosher? I thought that was like a joke. I thought you were making like a satire.
Because Clint Hurdle needs a bullpen arm, but... these guys do matter. These call-ups do matter. You saw it the other night when Michael Feliz came in when the Pirates were down 1 run. He gives up 3, and now he's back in Indianapolis. It's happened all season. Alex McRae.
Nobody other than Meadows has made an impact. And, you can say in isolation, all right, well, yeah, but are you picking on this guy because he's only got 10 at-bats, or that guy, or... But they add up. They add up to the equivalent of 1 full position player and 1 full player over the course of a summer.
If you also eliminate Richard Rodriguez and Kyle Crick, the rest is just a disaster. Jose Osuna, Jordan Luplow, Kevin Newman so far has really struggled.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
That's really early.
I'm just saying. But no, there's nothing down there. You look at the minor league system. If Double-A and down, there's some promise there, like there is almost every other system.
You can always say that
exactly.
With any team, you can always find, oh, look, so-and-so in Double-A is doing well. Lance, they get to Triple-A, and they're exposed for what they are.
We used to talk about this starting pitching, and the word volatile was something you could definitely use to describe this group. You didn't know what you were always going to get, and that includes Jameson Taillon at times, but wow. I mean, the last 6 weeks, even before the All-Star break, as much as the offense was so good during that winning streak, it all started with the pitching.
Taillon, Joe Musgrove. Trevor Williams isn't young, but he's also not been in the majors for that long. He's arguably been the best starting pitcher in the majors.
Yeah, I mean,
for a stretch now.
Since July 7th.
And for a guy with his ordinary stuff, that's just staggering.
Ivan Nova is even...
Ivan Nova has, he's still given up his homers, but nothing like L.A., and, you would think that the loss of Chad Kuhl, who was one of those volatile starting pitchers, was going to be the first thing that was going to undo these guys, and it didn't. I don't know if that somehow solidified them. Even Chris Archer's arrival hasn't done anything.
Nick Kingham had a couple of nice starts to kind of bridge that gap until Chris Archer arrived. Until, of course, Nick Kingham started struggling. He's back in Triple-A.
Yes.
No, I think Joe Musgrove's the one I keep going back to, because when they acquired him, you just looked at the numbers and you said, this isn't going to work out.
Actually, we said something else when they acquired him. This is Tyler Glass now.
Because
that's what we said, because he had the bad starting numbers and the really promising relief numbers.
But he at least had some success in the major leagues, and wow, I mean, he's been a guy. I mean, he's looked like he could be that number 2 starter in a rotation.
Yeah, and he brings some of those intangibles too that are fun. They probably get overinflated. He comes in as the pinch runner. He's been pinch hitting. I've heard Clint Hurdle describe him as arguably the best or second best athlete on the roster. Yeah. Which is crazy, but
he's compared him to A.J. Burnett, just that intensity that he brings on the mound.
And it's authentic. It's not manufactured. I think at times with Kuhl in particular that it was kind of manufactured. Look at me, I'm a tough guy, whatever. This kid's the real deal, and they're exciting. I mean, not everything that's happened to the Pirates lately has been bad. These guys have been really good. I'll tell you, Lance, that counts more than anything toward the future, doesn't it?
Exactly. And then, I know that there's going to be so much made of this Chris Archer deal going forward.
And there should be.
Because what they gave up, people are going to compare to what Glasnow's doing, what Austin Meadows is doing, what Shane Baz is doing. But let's say hypothetically Chris Archer doesn't work out or he's not that top of the rotation starter. They might not need a top of the rotation starter because maybe Jameson Taillon
might be it.
They might be it. So as much as this offense, who knows what it's going to look like in a year from now, that pitching I don't think is going anywhere.
Because we are rosy personalities by nature, going to keep it upbeat here, even amidst this terrible slump/drought for the Pirates and talk a little bit about Corey Dickerson, who the other day at PNC Park, in front of dozens before the game, was introduced as the winner of their annual Heart and Hustle Award. Not a lot of people know about this thing. It's something that the players and the people...
Each team gets one, and all the players vote on it. So, I mean, it
means a lot. Yeah. To the guy who gets it, to know that there's 24 others in the dugout watching him get it, and he's the guy that won. Look, it's a nice thing, and I don't know that we all think of Corey Dickerson that way.
I know that nobody thought of him that way before he showed up. I mean, there was the bad second half last year. There was bad second halves throughout his career.
Sure.
There was injuries.
Bad teams he was playing on.
There was bad defense. Yeah, he's never been on a team above 500.
He's had lousy defense. I was told by a scout back in spring training this guy'd never be able to play left field at PNC Park. I printed it, and, he's done that.
Yeah, he's done that. He's been an above-average defender. But no, he's been, I would say, maybe the heartbeat of this team at times. He's been the guy who's always hustled. He's stretched singles into doubles. He's made sliding catches. He's been just every time he just kind of gives it his all. And as much as I think he frustrates fans with just the way that he can swing just at almost anything.
But he can swing at almost anything, which is why he tries it. And he does these goofy things on the bat where he chokes up to almost like halfway up over the handle, and he doesn't apologize for it. I like... My favorite thing that I've seen from Dickerson this year, and I don't think this involves necessarily hard hustle or whatever, but is that the one time that he did get, well, he's had a couple mini slumps, but the one time that he really got into a rut where he went the whole month, remember, without a home run?
Yeah.
He said to himself, and he and I talked about it out on the West Coast, where he said, I'm going to just find a way to just make contact. I couldn't care less what it is. I don't care if it's hard contact. I don't care if it's a home run. I don't care if it's a double. I just want to pop the ball somewhere. So he started doing things no hitting coach anywhere. I'm sure Jeff Branson and anybody who would be watching him going, oh no, what's he doing? But he would find a way, and he started dropping a couple of balls like over the shortstop's head, and he got his way out of it. That's a baseball player.
Yeah, when I think of him, I think of back in Miami in April when he bunted to drive in the game-winning run. He hadn't had a bunt base hit in a couple of years. I think it was his rookie year in Colorado. So, I mean, this is one of the reasons why they traded Austin Meadows. Corey Dickerson's going to be part of this team next year because, I mean, look, he's been the guy. He's their leadoff hitter, and he's the one person who hasn't been part of this slump so far in this last week or so.
It's not going to take a whole lot more, given where the Pirates are in the standings, in the wild card, to start looking ahead. I know that people like me and you probably already have, probably everybody watching already has, but that's a different dynamic than what's inside the clubhouse. What happens then?
Well, it's tough. Clint Hurdle was asked about this other day, and I thought it was an interesting answer. Right now, a couple of days ago, he said they've had a couple of things on paper, but they haven't really thought about it in terms of the games yet. We'll see where we're at in a couple of weeks, but they're at that point now. You look at the standings. It's tough, though, because you can bring up guys from AAA, let's say Kevin Kramer, maybe Pablo Reyes, Jose Osuna, but how do you... Evaluating players in September is so tough because you're playing teams that their rosters are expanded,
yeah,
so it's garbage baseball.
Yeah.
So you can only kind of glean so much. I think a lot of this roster is already determined for next year. They need to figure out what they're doing at shortstop, maybe second base if Josh Harrison's not back. The rest is what it is, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, where else
what
are you
else
looking
do you
at?
figure out?
As soon as you mentioned Osuna, I started thinking, okay, that's the end of that list. Unless you're talking about ways that you can manage people's health. For example, let's say that you get Elias Diaz some more time behind the plate because you're trying to make sure that you don't knock out Francisco Cervelli for the rest of his career. Let's say that you're managing Josh Harrison, who, based on what you were told the other day by Todd Tomzig, doesn't sound like Jay Hayes is going to be out there much at all.
I would manage Corey Dickerson too, just based on he had the hamstring injury. After the All-Star break, was out for only 10 days. But still.
Okay, but let me throw this back at you though. If Dickerson finishes hot or finishes at least reasonably strong, that's a plus for him in his career. And I know that that's going to be important to him. And I'll give you another example. Somebody else that you need at some point to get going is the first baseman.
Yeah.
I mean, Josh Bell has to go into this coming off season with some kind of confidence from something. And you know how he overthinks everything and how smart he is and everything, which can work against him. So it's not simple.
Colin Moran's another one that I think
good
that
one.
they need to get him going because he's going to be their starting third baseman next year, whether or not David Freese is here. And Josh Bell, you mentioned that. He showed signs of life in San Francisco, and then again, just the weak contact comes up, and some of it's been bad luck, but they need this guy to be that middle of the order bat because as much as they've gotten contributions from Corey Dickerson at times, Starling Marte, the rest of the guys have been inconsistent. They need that one guy in the lineup who can win a game with one swing. You can't manufacture runs every game the way that this team has for so many long stretches because that's not what baseball is now.
No,
you need that big swing.
It's over the fence.
The way guys pitch today, the way that it's up in the zone, it's a lot of breaking stuff. You need the guy who's going to make somebody pay for making a mistake because they're making them. They're just not hitting them right now.
Listen to us. We're talking about the off season already. It's August, Lance.
We've got a lot of games left.